So I am honored and privileged to be joined today by one of the West End and Broadway's most acclaimed leading men. He is known for thrilling performances of some musical theatre's most iconic characters, and now he is using his star power to shine a light on brand new musical theatre. Please welcome me in saying, "Oh my God, hey," to Ramin Karimloo. Hello.
Hello, how are you, my friend?
I am doing very well. How are you? Which continent are you joining me from today?
I am back home in England, which is great.
Nice. Now, I only ask because you have this career that has truly been transatlantic and international of late.
It's something that I've learned to really take in and be present with, as opposed to just I'm going somewhere and you're just being busy with, and next thing you know, the year's over, like, oh yeah, I went here. Now I'm really enjoying it. And like, I love being home. I was just saying to my friend, well, the writer of Rome today, I'm like, it's so nice to be in my own music room prepping things as opposed to a hotel room, or usually I'm in a dressing room prepping the next thing. But at the same time, I look forward to the things that are, I'm going to Japan in a couple weeks, and then back here, then back to New York, and then back here. So I'm very grateful to
Yeah.
be able to hear you say that, and also to hear myself say that and be present with it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. First time I ever saw you on stage, Adelphi Theatre, January 2011, I think. Love Never Dies.
Well, it started in 2010,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you went in 2011, yeah.
You were wearing a black shirt while you were singing Till I Hear You Sing as a barometer of whenabouts in the run it was. That was after a little bit of changes.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what came first, the white shirt or the black shirt.
I think the white shirt opened it, and then the black shirt was, for some reason, one of a handful of changes that was gonna change everything about the show. But yeah, and then most recently, I saw you this summer in Pirates, the Penzance musical, the joy that that was at the Todd Hames.
My Lord, that was so much fun. One of my
Yeah.
favorite times yet. And that was for me like a signpost of, I don't know, I feel like my best is yet to come, and just put joy in whatever we do, whether it's something heavy, whether it's something obviously comical is an easier pathway to that, but it's just in this day and age and seeing the world around us to be able to still do what I feel my purpose is. I'm so grateful for that. And that's why, again, like something new like Rome, with what that entails and what that represents, I'm like, I feel like things are starting to line up in a different way, but in a way that perhaps it's meant to.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about this then. You are back in London next month in this concert of this brand new musical called Rome at the Shaftesbury Theatre, joined by a really fantastic company. I know a little bit about the show, but I would love to hear from you what your perspective is on it and what you can tell us about Rome.
The music is phenomenal. It's got this Romani infused, folk, rock driven, very energetic, fun music. It's about a nomadic clan's caravan that breaks down in a hostile territory, and you know they're on their way to a sacred festival, and it sort of things like the whole situation unfolds from there. But what it'd be so easy to relate it to so many things that are happening nowadays. But that's what's so great about Rome. It relates to anyone. It
Yeah.
relates to everyone, and it's generational. There's things that will be relatable for all generations in this show, and yeah, I find this is going to be very exciting. It's an exciting show. It's fun. It's got a lot of energy, and the book and music, it's a great marriage. And I'm excited. We've been working on it for a while, from demos to workshops, and I'm intrigued to see it on its feet now and really spend time within a room with, I just say, this amazing cast that's diverse and full of talent. And so it's a journey for me still as well.
Yeah, no, whenever you're talking about those themes of community and family, it's always very universal, very accessible and relatable. You are playing, I think, a sort of patriarchal figure to two sons, played by some very talented young men.
You know, these boys, I I feel like they're colleagues, but I'm like, oh my days, how old am I to play their father now?
Uh-huh. Is it Diego and Jordan? Are they playing your sons in the show?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the latest I've heard. Yeah, and they're both great talents, great voices, and I love being in a room with them both because I've worked with Jordan and I met Diego after Evita, and all I kept thinking is like, I'm at that age now. I'm at that age. But I play Yoshka, and you know, I this character, he's magnetic, he's charming, he's flawed, and also trying to figure out, like, as a father, there's a lot I can relate to him, and you always look for that redemption, and what it asks of me as an artist and as a singer, it pushes my boundaries. It takes me to a place I don't think I've been. I don't think it's very raw, very spiritual, and there's a lot of parallels that I could, you know, at times sadly bring to it, but also at the same time, it's good that you can draw on your experiences. And uh, again, I'm answering like this because it's still a work in progress, and it's something that I'm very intrigued to see how it unfolds in the room, because
Yeah.
it is very raw. And I think, and it sounds like I'm making it very heavy, but there's a lot, again, it's very light, and there's a lot of humor and a lot of pace to the book as well as the music, which I like, because sometimes when you're dealing with quite a heavy moment, like, the Romanis who have been marginalized, we know the devastation that they experienced with the Holocaust. But while it's sort of inspired by that cultural reference, it's again a story for everyone that we will be able to see and relate. And I like the idea of searching for what brings us together then rather than what separates us, because I think if we stop looking at things that separate us and look for the things that actually unite us, we can celebrate those differences, because that's what we used to do. We used to celebrate what made us different. And that's what I love about traveling. Everywhere I go, I love seeing different cultures, and I want people to embrace those cultures and keep their culture alive, because that's what I want to see when I go. I don't want us to all be necessarily universal.
Now, much of your career has been spent in some of the most iconic, most long-running shows of all time, joining those productions. How different is it as an actor to build something anew and be part of that development phase for something that is still coming together and is still shifting and evolving?
It's more similar than dissimilar. Do you know what I mean? We
Mhm.
still go through the same process. Things like Les Miserables, beautiful attire you got on today. Mr. 24601 there.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, there's different references, but there was a novel it was based on. But, there's history that we can dive into with Rome. And you just take it one step at a time, one scene at a time. Every day you'll have discussions. So while even with something that's been long running, there's still things you find in moments that you're like, oh, I've not seen it like that before, or felt it like that before, or heard it like that. But the benefit of something that is completely new, every day is a discovery.
Yeah.
Every day will be hit and miss, and we're trying to honor where it stems from, but also it's again bringing it back to it being a universal story, because this is for everyone. It's not about others, it's about us, and it's connecting that.
Now, I want to talk a little bit more about Rome and this exciting new musical in concert. But before we do, I want to touch on some of the moments in your career that have brought you to this point. And there are so many shows and so many roles that I could ask you about. You've had such an exciting career. So instead, I will ask the questions and you can tell me which role or show is the answer. So, first of all, I'm curious which production, which role felt to you like a breakthrough, like a breakout opportunity?
Well, I guess a breakout opportunity. Are we taking on board sort of effect it had in the platform and the reach?
I mean, how it made you feel, I suppose, the moment that empowered you to feel like I have arrived as a leading man in the world of musical theatre.
It's weird. My instinct's like, well, have I arrived? I still feel as green as ever.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I'm not discounting. I know I bring something to the table through the experience, even if it's raw, and even if I can't fully explain it at times. Love Never Dies was a big deal, because I was started to create something, and to have music written around your voice, that was quite extraordinary experience to work so closely and daily with Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber, like being in his cab daily, going to and back from the studio, heading out for lunch together. Yeah, that was a real big turning point. Les Mis 25th, I remember being what was great about that was I remember showing up and at the O2 and you're looking out and I'm thinking, this is not about you. This is the first time I realized this stuff is not about us. We're not important. We're all just coming together to tell a story, play dress up, honor the piece. And it's up to the audience to decide whether it's important, whether it's good, bad, whatever. It's not up to us to tell them that. We're just there to be a conduit. And the moment I surrendered to that and just had fun, I looked around in the ensemble. I'm seeing people in the ensemble that I look up to, and, the choir, and we were all there as fans. And the moment I tapped into that, I was like, you had so much fun at the Les Mis 25th. Keep doing that, because when you're having fun, you'll do your best work. And regardless, you're having fun. And that's what I think we have to ultimately tap into. So that was a pivotal moment for me and a realization. Love Never Dies. Funny Girl was great because that finally I was like, oh, I get to talk more. See, um, I can go through every show now, and all of them have been just as important. So I'll just stop there.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Well, tell me this then. Which of the roles you've played, because some sensational vocals, some fantastic things, which has been the most vocally challenging of the roles that you've had to play?
Oh man, I don't know.
You can tell me that they've all been very easy for you if you like, but it'll be very
No,
upsetting news.
it's not that they're difficult or easy. I don't want to get too personal, but it's like when I'm in a good place, things just come out. And I was thinking like Judas, but that once you live in that world, it was there. I was surprised myself. I thought, "Oh, I'm not gonna be able to do this, so let's try it and see what happens." As long as I'm healthy, everything is hard to start with. That's the thing. I didn't want to play Jean Valjean, so I had nothing to say to the role originally, so I had no voice for it. And then when I found a conduit to the character, I was like, "Oh, that speaks to me. Maybe I'll go down that road and see what happens." Then the voice would come. Facing the crowd, that
Mhm.
got a bit tough for a while because of where my voice landed as Lonesome Rhodes, how he spoke, the physicality for that, and then the smoking. That ripped it up a bit.
That's interesting to hear your sort of emotional journey with Valjean, and certainly the pipeline that you had through Les Mis. I think Killian Donnelly is another one who sort of went from an Enjolras to a Valjean, but it's not necessarily the route that everyone takes through the show. They've of course just celebrated 40th anniversary in London. It feels like the 25th was fairly recent. I remember seeing that concert, and yet somehow it's 15 years later. Do you have any enduring memories of your times spent on the barricade?
Yeah, I always look at my time, especially as Jean Valjean, the first iteration I did in London, and Hadley being Inspector Javert,
Hmm.
and just again, it was a great time. I really enjoyed. Obviously, it was the Queen's Theatre at the time, now the Sondheim Theatre, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I loved going to work then, and it's like, oh, could I revisit that? But I'm romanticizing a moment. I don't know if
Uh-huh.
it'll be as good as that time. I really enjoyed, yeah, in Toronto, the one night when Colm Wilkinson came into the cast and played the Bishop, and just that whole week of working with my one of my idols. Like I've known Colm for so many years now because I used to stage door him and
Wow.
ask him for his autograph. And then for the 25th, I remember we were on stage and I was with Hadley and I can see Colm way at the other end of the O2. I'm like, that's Colm. And I had to go up to him. I felt like the 12-year-old kid again. I said, "Mr. Wilkinson, my name's Ramin." He goes, "Ramin, it's so good to see your career blossom." I was like, he goes, "Yeah, I've been reading about you in the papers back home. I'm proud of you." I was like, oh.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
when we were doing the rehearsal for the finale, and all the original cast were coming. I kept going, "Where's David Burt? Where's the Andras? No one here. What's going on?" And I'm still beside Hattie again. That's Grantaire. And they go, "Okay, Ramin, you come up for Andras and join the originals and sing the Andra bit. Come stand next to Calm." And Hattie started elbowing me. I was like, "Oh my God," because he knew how great it'd be for me.
Yeah.
And I remember I put my hand on Calm, and I was like, "One more day before the storm." And I was like, wasn't even choreographed. They were like, "Don't touch Calm." I'm like, "I don't care. I'm touching."
Yeah.
We were like, and I remember when he hit that one day more, the vibrations coming off his back as he hit those notes. I was like, "Whoa, he still got it."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. One of the greatest male musical theater voices of all time.
Yeah. And then we, like we had every time he came to New York, I wish I still had the voice messages, and he'd be like, "Ramin, it's Calm. I'm in New York. Do you want to jam?" Opened the flat, picked up the guitar. I remember Love Never Dies. I was getting my makeup off, and stage door goes, "Carl Wilkinson wants to come up." I was like, "Yeah, send him up." I went, "Susie, watch this." I just opened the guitar and left it out, just over in the corner, making no. I said, "Watch this," like a moth to a flame. He comes in, "Ramin, is that a guitar?" And he went over there. 45 minutes later, I just had a 45-minute concert with Calm in my room. But like,
Amazing.
it was like, "Watch this. Just leave it out. Don't say nothing." Literally, right to the guitar, starts playing. Um, yeah, and then Les Mis on Broadway. What an extraordinary experience that was for my Broadway debut. You know, I when it comes to awards and stuff, I'd never know what to make of them, but it was cool to be nominated and to be part of that craziness. But just to do that with such amazing artists throughout those 18 months, what a great time! Like, what a fortunate story to tell, because there's so many. I'm trying to, which story do I want to tell? Because there's so many. So I'm
No,
very,
you've had a lot of history with the show, yeah.
yeah. And again, I remember it's not even a role I ever envisioned doing or wanted to do. I kept turning it down. I'm like, "Oh, I'm not playing John Valjean. I don't want to do that."
And then you became, I think, one of certainly the most compelling ones because you brought so many different qualities to it. You brought a different vocal quality to it. And then, I mean, the audience response spoke for itself. You were fantastic in that role.
Well, I appreciate that. And I remember I was like, I don't know where to start with this character. So I got, because although this year I've been better at reading, hitting a new milestone with the amount of novels I've read this year. I got a
Uh-huh.
Kindle last year for my birthday. So I'm like, oh, I can keep track of it all. But I am a slow reader. So I got Les Mis on audiobook, and I would listen to it, which was so helpful because then I can create images, or images would be created. So I would make notes, even if they didn't make sense. And then that helped me see something that I would have never got if had I read it myself. And then I went through every lyric and the whole script or score of Les Mis with my pastor, and we connected everything. And I was like, wow, these parallels, I totally understand. And then also the physical transformation I went through for it because of something I heard in the book. That was, I owe a lot to my pastor for that, because he really helped me find my conduit and solidify that.
Yeah, yeah. Are there any other roles that you've played that have taken you by surprise, where you weren't necessarily sure what your version of that character was going to be, and then something emerged or shifted and kind of revealed itself to you during the process?
Yeah, again, Lonesome Rose, I never, you know, nowadays people want to talk about it, but I was like, I, I, I just want to be a hardworking actor. I just happen to be born in Iran, and I'm very proud of that, but I'm an actor. But at the same time, back of my head, I was like, ooh, Iranian playing an Arkansas cowboy. This is good. Let's see what we can find here. You know what you find? What was it? So I had a fear of doing that. I had a Pirate King. Nowadays, I was like, I don't know what I'll do with it, but I knew I wanted to be part of it.
Hmm.
And physically, again, what that asked of me, I remember thinking, I don't think I can last these 6 months, but I'll give it a go. And then again, the fact that there was so much joy and playfulness. You are not your body, you're your spirit. And I think I found a lot of that with just the way the whole experience of Pirates was, the way it was run from top down. There was never a bad day. And I can't explain it. It was, again, a great cast. David, Jinx, we all had a great time together, and it was so much fun. And right up to the final time, like seeing David Hyde Pierce's corpse, that's something I did. And at first I got nervous, but then there was a sense of pride too. I was like, because he's so funny and so stoic. I'm like, yes, I didn't try to get him, but something got him. How amazing. It was such a good experience. Yeah, I'm not good at explaining this because everything is, I go into it not thinking necessarily I can do it. It's, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And now more than ever, like Rome, and I'm not just trying to bring it back to that, I'm just saying roles like that, there is, I want to say a fear of failure, but I'm not worried about that. You either, I don't know, win or learn, but it's that thing of like, I don't know how I'm going to pull this off, so let's do it. And there's so many roles now that when I talk to the team, I'm like, yeah, let's go for that, because that I don't know how I'm going to do it. Even like the idea if I was to ever play Phantom again, I don't know what I would do with that.
Have you had any interest in going to see Masquerade off Broadway as someone who spent a lot of time in the Phantom Mask?
Look, I don't think it's for me,
Uh-huh.
but it's great. So may it long continue. As a fan
Sure.
of the brand of Phantom, awesome.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, the next time I see Phantom or whatever, I want to go. I want Hal's version, the original version.
Sure. Sure.
Best we can, you know.
That I understand. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm enough removed from that to start remembering my own fandom about it, where I can experience the music. Like when I was just in China, and when I was doing Music of the Night, it felt fresh again, and you hear the swells of that orchestration. I'm like, yeah, this is a great show, and it's a great orchestration and beautiful music, and it swells, and they're like, there is nothing like it.
Yeah.
So I just want to stay in that memory of it now.
Yeah. Taking us back to Rome then, what are you most excited about in terms of putting this in front of an audience? And what is your greatest aspiration for what audiences are going to take away from this show and this story?
I want them to, well, I never say I want them to. I want them to take what they see from. So what I want us to represent is this universal story, this story of like everyone's trying to search for a way to shine their light in darkness. And that's something that I've been thinking about recently, where I've changed my mindset for my own personal life, where when we come up against trials and tribulations, I take that as like a compliment, a privilege that for me, God, but like for anyone can decide what they think of that. But I'm trusted to go through this, not, oh, woe is me. It's like, oh, I get to go through this to grow and figure out what's on the other side for me and for whatever the product is. And I think we need more of that now more than ever. And this show is about finding your light and also shining the light in a darkness. And again, on the heavy side, there's a lot of communities, people, individuals, groups that are marginalized, are being suppressed, are having seemingly their voices shut down. And again, in this world we live in, where it's about dividing us and keeping us emotionally divided. Because at the end of the day, the reason a lot of people act like this, I do think, because we're all good humans at heart, and we think I'd like to think 95% of us, nobody wants anyone harmed. Nobody wants to have more than you. Just they have a belief.
Yeah.
And I like to think, okay, but how can we at least still be good to each other? How can we both have a voice in this situation? How can we both be seen and heard and celebrated? And again, I think we have to get back to a world where our differences are celebrated and not feared, and not mine's bigger than yours, mine's better than yours, mine should be, it should be this way. It's like, come on now, like again, I'm digressing.
No, no.
Let's go back to this being a lot of fun. There's a lot of energy in this. There's great music, and that's what I truly love about this, is putting all that together. Something that stems from something quite dark and heavy, that can lead to light, that can lead to unity rather than division, love, family, community. And so there's a lot to be taken away from this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you've given us an awful lot to look forward to for next month. I can't wait to come and see it and hear your fantastic voice back in the West End. And I'm sure plenty of audience members will be very excited when this all gets announced. Currently, it's still under embargo, but in the next few days, people are going to find out all about Rome and this exciting concert.
Yeah, I can't wait. And it's again, especially in London, well, England, when we say concert, we know it's not just stand and delivered.
Oh,
It
yeah.
becomes sort of concert production.
Uh-huh.
I remember that with Adam's Family. Oh, that's another one. I forgot these. My brain, I can't remember anything. That's why
You've done an awful lot. You have every excuse to forget half the stuff you've done.
I get scrambled in interviews, and especially now with Rome. Like I said, we're the puzzle pieces are all on the table, and now I got to put them together.
Yeah.
But Adam's Family was one I thought, no way. That one I thought I was going to stink at, or not know how to connect to it, and that was great. But the point of why I'm bringing that up is concert. No, it was Adam's Family. I did the 4.5 minute tango.
You did?
Had to put it on. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But that was great. That was fun too.
Yeah. Well, you and a dynamite cast are heading back to the West End next month in Rome. There will be a link to get tickets somewhere in the description of this video. But thank you so much for taking the time to tell me and everyone else about it. Thanks for talking to me.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
For 10 more seconds, I'm MickeyJoTheatre. Oh my god, hey. Thanks for watching, have a stagey day. Subscribe!